What's up YouTube, this is Collect Pokemon and welcome back to another video. This video I really want to address the issue, the concern and the insight that I have. It's been 1 month since PSA has closed down or has closed its door to the bulk, the regular and the express grading service, and I really want to just dig in to analyze, to look at how that impacted the card price for PSA 10 cards, especially in more recent set, and whether I think that, in the upcoming future, in the upcoming few sets, what are likely to happen, and even when PSA are opening up back the regular, back the express service closer to July, as they have said, what is going to happen? Is the market going to cool down? Are we going to lose our hype for PSA, or are people going to switch to other grading company? So so let's get into it. So first, I really want to show you guys the pop report. This is the pop report for, oops, I made this wrong. I actually want to show you this one first. This one is the battle style population report. We have seen that there are only 14 cards graded. Yes, there's 14 cards graded because most of these cards are graded as Super Express. And the cost of that Super Express is, I think, is around $300 per card. So that is why we're seeing people are very, 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 very cautious as to the cards they send to grade. Now the question is, who will send cards to grade at that kind of Super Express level at this moment? I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the collectors, and it is likely going to be some people who believe that there is going to be a possible monetary gain from flipping these cards. And let's see if there is such monetary gain. We can see the Tyranitar V is the one that is most graded, PSA 10, and there is two of them which are PSA 9. And I think that these records are actually very, very accurate, because I highly doubt that people who got a PSA 9 will try and attempt to send it in for another $300 for a regrade. So, the pop report shows that, hey, Tyranitar V, PSA 10, not bad. There are 5 copies of them. Okay, we see the Rapid Strike Urshifu V Max, which is the meditation one. We also see, high population report of 5. Now, how are the price doing? Well, if you go into Troll and Toad, let's see if I can put it in. If you can go into Troll and Toad, the price we're seeing for the raw cards is around $150, $170 and $84. And, it's quite obvious that these two cards over that $100 range are the cards that are going to be graded. Now, here are the recent sale for the PSA 10 version of the Tyranitar V. Notice that it's actually sold by the same person. So that's $940, that is $780, and that is $960. Given the price of that card being around $150 and the grading fees of $300, it is still, I would say it is still relatively profitable. Actually, it's actually quite profitable just to send these cards to grade. I mean, if you guys go and buy a card which is like $180, and let's just say you put it for $300 for grading plus shipping and everything else, I'm actually pressing it in the calculator now and trying to deduct the PayPal fee and eBay fee. I'm looking at around $300 to $400 of profit. $400, and by selling 3 of these, this guy has pretty much profited $1,000 already, which is really not bad if you think about it. So what I really want to illustrate to you is that PSA 10 cards does have their value. But what is actually interesting is that, it's really not stopping people from grading. There is still money to be made. Now the question is, what will happen to other sets? I mean, Battle Style was not considered to be one of the more popular set. Yes, there's Tyranitar V. But when Chilling Reign hits, the Moltres, the Galarian Birds, Alternative Art, we're going to see the Karlach Shadow Rider alternative art. We are also going to see the Blaziken alternative arts. That is going to be much more interesting. And if people are watching this video or seeing it or doing their research and find out that this actually works, what it means is that we're going to see a lot more cards sending a Super Express and people trying to flip these cards. But again, I would think that there will be more of them, but whether they're successful, that would be a different story. However, this is what I think. Where are the other alternative art Tyranitar V? Are they sent to other grading companies, or are people holding it and not sending it to grade because they feel that the cost of grading is too high? I think it's the one where people are keeping that card. And sometimes if you keep a card for a very long time, there is a higher chance that you either forgot where you put it, you damaged it. So it's not really a pack fresh card that you send it to grade. There is a bit of that where people might have misplaced, misstored, or something to that card. So I think that in the long run with this, it's actually going to cause an increase in price for certain cards like these. And you have to remember that Battle Styles is still not very readily available. It's still not a very readily available set. And I think that it's going to get worse for Chilling Reign. I know a lot of people has been saying that, hey, Pokemon card is dropping, the bubble is burst, the market is cooling down. I actually am quite optimistic that it is not. I think it's more to do with people are being too greedy, and that concept of what is growth and what is high price, what is profit. It's very awkward. You need to understand that traditionally this is what happened. Distributors around the world give a little discount to people, to stores that sells at MSRP, and usually the profit margin is around 20 to 30%, depending on where you are or which distributors you're getting it from. Now what we're seeing is that people, stores, retail are making way more than 20 and 30%. So I think that if you're making 50%, okay, that's fair enough, that's happy enough. But when you're making things such as 200%, 300%, when you think that that is normal, of course we're getting a crash, of course we're getting a drop off in the card price. Now another thing that is very interesting in the pop report to look at is the concept of Vivid Voltage. Now if you take a look at Vivid Voltage, this set was sent in before the PSA shutdown, and there are 7,927 cards being graded already, not to mention the ones that are backlogged in PSA. Now I don't really care about how many is in PSA, nor how many of them is graded at this point. I mean, you can see, the cracked Holo Charizard, it's very difficult to get a PSA 10. Reverse Holo Charizard, very difficult to get a 10. Now the question is that, how are they doing now? Are people saying that, hey, I'm not buying these cards because there's a lot at PSA? Or, what is happening to these? Well, let's take a look. If we go into the eBay search on sold listing on a lot of these sold sale for Vivid Voltage PSA Titan cards, we can see that the sales are actually very, very active. I mean, we have a whole page here, and these are our cards that are sold in the last 1 or 2 days. You can see that it is super active, and I'm just gonna say like list 200 just for the sake of looking at these. But we're seeing only certain cards are being bought up. So for example, any of the VMAX Pikachu, the Amazing Rares, the pre-release promo, the Charizard. I mean, look, even this, what's the Steelix, okay? It's quite interesting. Pikachu V, we are seeing a little dip in the price of this card. What else are we seeing? Yeah, it's mainly the Amazing Rares, the Pikachus that are being graded. Trainer, full art trainer, we are seeing a dip in the full art trainer price already. Pikachu V Max Hyper Rare still staying strong. But, in general, I really do think that the Amazing Rare cards, the Charizard cards, they're still doing very well, given that there should be quite a large number of them. If we go back into the pop report and type like Rayquaza, let's see what we're gonna get. Rayquaza, there's 607 Amazing Rare PSA 10 graded, and the price is still staying at that $200 range. And it's not like people are not buying it. It's being sold, almost every single day. So I actually think that it is quite solid. I actually think that the PSA 10 cards are actually doing quite well. And the effect of the PSA shutdown is really not affecting the graded card price. And because of that, I am unlikely to be very worried as to what would happen when PSA, that 10 million cards in PSA come back, or when PSA open back up. What I will say is that people should really keep their card in mint condition, because I think that there is a chance that the Chilling Reign set, as well as the Battle Style sets, a lot of those cards, especially the higher rarity cards in PSA 10, is going to worth a lot more money later on further down the line, simply because there are just less graded. It creates this concept of scarcity. Remember, you have to remember that when grading becomes less accessible, people grade less, and when people grade less, sometimes you just forget about it. It's not like you would suddenly think about it 3 or 4 months later and go like, oh, I'll go grade that card. Usually what happens is that, people see price hyped going up, a price spike at the beginning or at the release. That's where, when most of these products are accessible, that's where you have a choice to choose which quality, which card you want to grade. And I think that kind of impulse of grading is causing these large influx of cards. For example, in Vivid Voltage, where that first month of release, people are all sending these cards in. Champions Path, we're seeing that in every single set, in every single release so far, we're seeing people just dumping all the cards to PSA. And I think that when we can't do that anymore, the actual number will start to fall. If we try to, or if PSA is trying to curb that initial jump, it's going to cause many of these cards to not reach the grading process eventually, because people put them in the binders, they forget about them, these sort of stuff. Or they just have less of that individual cards to choose from to send for grading. Now, I've been blabbing on for quite a long time, and I really want to bring that conclusion up, is that I think that PSA 10 cards eventually will do fine. Whether PSA will introduce the AI grading, AI assist grading, or something like that, I think that it's not really gonna have much effect on these things. If anything, I think CGC is already doing these AI assist grading. And from what I see is that, the earlier you send in the cards, the better grade you get, because there's just less, there's less model for the AI to learn. So yeah, that's what I'm suspecting. Anyway, I'll make another video mainly talking about that AI grading things future time. But here I just really want to express that view that I think the PSA 10 cards are gonna be fine. And the new sets, especially when we hit the EV Heroes, these sort of stuff, make sure you keep the cards in mint condition. Make sure you put it in a card saver when you get it, because I do believe that there will be a lower pop report of these cards as compared to the Vivid Voltage cards or the Champions Path cards. Not because the supply is less, it's that people are forgetful. That initial hype of opening the card, sending it to grade, flipping it. when there's less of that, people will send less cards in. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think. Anyway, so let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? Do you think that PSA 10 cards or PSA cards will hold strong? Do you agree with me that we're gonna see less of the higher rarity cards in the long run, as people tends to forget or just doesn't want to send it to grade anymore after that initial hype? So yeah, let's see what you guys say in the comment. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Collect Pokemon. Peace.